La Critique believes in living a life full of experiences rather than possessions, which is why we designed a concierge service just for Vegas locals. We're all busy, and can any of us really keep up with all the changes around town? And yet, we still crave quality experiences when we go out and spend our valuable time and money. Now, imagine having a personal assistant whose credentials are quite literally hospitality snob and expert event planner. Seriously, leave all the details to us. Recommendations, personalized. Reservations, done. More time enjoying our city and less time researching it? Absolutely. Subscribe today at LaCritiqueLV.com or give the gift of service by purchasing a subscription for your favorite person. Welcome to the VegasStrong Revival Podcast. Buckle up because we're taking Vegas Strong culture to a whole new level this season. I'm Britt, your host, alongside co-host Desiree Wolf, event professional and host of the Slightly Unfiltered podcast. This season, the gloves are off and we're ditching the scripts for raw, relatable, and even shocking conversations, tackling real issues locals face and bringing in voices from various industries like fitness, charity, aviation, and more. Don't forget to follow us on social media and visit LaCritiqueLV.com for more about how we're helping residents and local business owners reconnect to the real meaning of hospitality. Ready or not, here we go. Well, today is a very exciting day because I have Paul Sallach here in studio. Thank you for being here.
Glad to be here, for sure.
For everybody who doesn't know who you are, let me just explain a little bit about what I know.
Okay.
You are the president founder of All In Aviation. It was established in 2016 with your rock star wife and pilot, Lindsay.
That's correct.
Although you originally are from Canada, you moved here in 2009. Mm-hmm. Awarded over the years with 2020's Nevada Small Business Person of the Year. Holy crap.
Yeah, 2020 was not good except for that.
Right? That's quite an accomplishment. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
You were also awarded Vegas Inc.'s 40 Under 40 in 2021.
Yep.
How did that feel?
That was pretty cool. A lot of it all sort of culminated with opening our new facility at the Henderson Executive Airport. So we worked very closely with the Small Business Administration to get the funding and get all the stuff lined up to do it. And then everybody in the whole city saw what we were doing. The city of Henderson primarily, with construction, with a land lease, with just building a whole new facility there, that we got some notice. So it was really an honor to be part of the 40 Under 40. I got it right as I turned 41, so I think I had a few days left to be 40, but it was great.
Nice. You are also a father of 2 awesome kids and living in Henderson. Have you always lived out there?
Yeah. When we moved to town, we wanted green grass, so we were attracted to Green Valley because most of the area was green.
Yeah.
And now it's slowly not being green anymore, but that's where we've been and where we love. So yeah, we love Henderson.
I also love Henderson and all of the things that the city of Henderson has been doing to promote community. Yeah. I've never lived on that side of town personally, although I was born and raised in Vegas. Anyway, I've got some questions for you.
Sure.
Feel free to just be yourself, answer them as you wish. Obviously, you have traveled to so many places all over the world. You're a pilot. I mean, you can literally probably pick up and go anywhere, anytime you want, right?
Pretty much. I mean, most of it is in the United States. I've been to all 48 of the lower states. I've just got the 2 outliers left to go to say I've been to every state. But, the United States has about 6,000 airports, and the airlines only serve 400 of them. So there's like 5,600 airports that people don't get to go to unless you have your own airplane or access to an airplane. So yeah, there's these tiny little runways scattered all over the place that I've been fortunate enough to be able to stop in, get gas, have a burger, whatever it might be, or just do a touch and go and say that we've been there. So yeah, it's America's the land of the free, the home of the brave, and you don't really get to experience that until you do it in an airplane and really realize how free we have it here.
I love that. How many airports do we have here in Las Vegas area?
Las Vegas, there's 7.
7?
Yep, 6 of them are owned by Clark County. So there's the Henderson Airport where we're at. Yep. There's McCarran. There's the Jean Airport. There's North Las Vegas. There's Nellis, and then there's Jean. Nellis isn't owned by Clark County, but it is still an airport here in the city.
Private planes can fly into Nellis?
No.
Okay, I didn't think so.
No, you asked how many airports there were.
Yeah, okay, yeah, no, you're right. That's fair. So you've been so many places. What do you love about living in Las Vegas?
I say this is the gateway to the West. Anybody that wants to do anything on the West Coast, I think this is the place to go. No one wants to really live in California anymore, but they want to be close to California. So I'd say this is the closest place to be able to do that. But Vegas, there's no snow here. There's nonstop flights pretty much anywhere. There's entertainment. There's no income tax. There's no flying bugs. I mean, this is like the best place on earth.
Yeah. Is there anything that really stands out about Vegas in your eyes that maybe isn't available elsewhere?
Well, having dinner after 9 p.m. I can tell you, flying to all these little towns and these little places, if you're not there by 8 o'clock on the ground, you're pretty much, maybe you're lucky to get a drive-through. But there's the after hours and just the dining and all the restaurants that are available, I think is second to none here in Las Vegas. And then, of course, just shows and entertainment. We pretty much get every headliner that.
So for all of us complaining that some of the hours of operation of certain restaurants changed after COVID, I guess we should think twice and be grateful for.
Yeah, we're very lucky with what we've got here. We can eat anywhere we want, pretty much anytime we want.
Yeah, I love it. Okay, what do you love most about flying?
The freedom. You don't, like I said before, you don't appreciate how free you are until you get off the ground and you can go anywhere that you want. I mean, there's certain airspaces that you're not allowed to fly into, but this is a huge country and you can pretty much fly anywhere that the military says that you're not allowed to. So getting close to the scenic, beautiful landscapes that are around the country, being able to fly by places like Mount Rushmore, or fly over the Statue of Liberty, or touch down in First Flight where the Wright brothers flew, like just all these cool places that you're able to go to that you really get access to by being a pilot.
So I'm curious, what made you become a pilot now? I've got to know.
I mean, I honestly didn't want to have a desk job is really all that it was. I wanted to not sit in an office, and there's not many jobs that, unless you want to be, physical, like construction, stuff like that. I wanted to travel, and really the only way to do that was to be a pilot. Interestingly enough, now I pretty much have a desk job.
Oh my gosh, isn't that funny?
But I get to fly, so it's just kind of funny how that works out.
Well, when you own a business, I feel like there's always desk work to be done,
Amen.
Right?
Oh yeah.
Is flying around Vegas unique in any way compared to flying around other parts of the country?
For sure. I mean, every place has their own things that make it unique. I'd say what's unique around Vegas is that we sit in a bowl, right? We have mountains pretty much all around us. So if you're taking off from, say, the North Las Vegas airport and you want to go to LA, there's a whole bunch of mountains and then there's airspace. So it's kind of a tricky place to fly in and out of. Once you get used to it, it's no big deal. At Henderson, we always typically go to the east. So you get to see things like the Hoover Dam and the Grand Canyon. So I'd say those are definitely bucket list items for a lot of pilots. So we get a lot of people from out of town that are like, hey, I would love to go see the Hoover Dam or fly over the Grand Canyon, go to Sedona. And those places are very much within reach here in Las Vegas.
I was reading one of your Yelp reviews, and one of the guys from California was coming here, and I think he was in flight school in California, but wanted to fly here. His review mentioned something about wind and how it was really challenging. He had never experienced that level of a rush before, but it was so great.
Yeah.
I have to say our wind in the valley is really bad at times.
Sure.
And probably constant even. So it's probably a constant thing that you guys are considering. How does that play a role in your school?
I mean, it certainly plays a role. So everybody wants a perfect day to go fly, right? They want clear blue skies, no wind. They want it to be excellent. What we do have here in Vegas is pretty much blue skies every day, right? So we definitely can get in the air, but we might get bounced around a little bit if it's a little bit windy. So I would say that it makes better pilots. We do all the training here through pretty much all the wind conditions, unless it's extreme, but we really don't stop flying because of the wind. until it gets to be a safety concern. So people that learn how to fly here can pretty much go anywhere and be equipped to safely take off and land in any wind conditions. So that's, I think, an advantage.
I don't know about you, but I'm a mountain biker.
Okay.
And we say the same thing about mountain biking here in Vegas. If you can mountain bike in Vegas and on our terrain here, you can mountain bike anywhere.
Yeah. Same thing for wind and airplanes.
Yeah, that's wild. Okay, I love that. We're going to switch it up a little bit.
Sure.
This show, being the VegasStrong Revival, is really hospitality focused.
Sure.
And the reason you and I even got connected in the first place a while back was you have a certain level of hospitality inside of your own business.
Sure.
I'm curious, what does the word hospitality actually mean to you?
I'd say that what it means to me is to deliver an experience to a customer that they weren't expecting, right? To preempt their expectations and deliver something that they didn't even know that could exist. I think getting ahead of your customer is really what I would say is the definition of hospitality. I don't know if that's what they teach at UNLV, but we want to make sure that we're delivering the best experience that somebody can have, and everybody that leaves here. I shouldn't say everybody, but most people leave and say, man, I've been to flight schools all over the world, and this is the best flight training experience that I've had. So I feel like we're delivering on that expectation, but it takes a lot of work.
One of the things, as I was preparing to have this chat with you, was I've never been in the aviation industry. I've never known even what some of the standards would be, especially when it comes to flight training schools.
Sure.
Right?
Well, let me just give you sort of the typical flight school around the country.
Yeah.
So the typical flight school is run by a flight instructor that has become known in the community or known at that airport, and then eventually they go and buy an airplane, and they typically buy like the cheapest airplane that they can afford in order to deliver the most inexpensive and cheap way for people to learn how to fly. So customers pull up in their nice cars to learn how to fly, and they look around and they're like, this plane is older than I am, and there's like duct tape like holding the plane together, and holes in the seats, and that is the experience that a lot of people have going to flight schools, because they're genuinely trying to deliver flight training at the most economical and cheap.
Well, I can't imagine it is cheap.
It's not.
No.
So we go the other direction.
Kind of cut some costs on certain things might help the overall budget, but at what cost are you willing to risk your own safety, right?
Sure, and I'm not here to suggest that there's any safety concern, because these airplanes do have to go through maintenance, and they have to be they have to be annually inspected.
But it's the concept, right? You show up and you look at the plane that's older than you are, and even has duct tape on it, and the perception in your brain won't change.
Correct.
Like that first impression lasts, right?
And that's where we're different. So we tell everybody, hey, please tour all the flight schools that you're considering. You'll see the difference. It's very evident. Our planes are well maintained. They're cleaned. They're hangared. Our facilities are brand new. We have individualized briefing rooms. We make sure that we follow up with customers. That is typically what a lot of people will interact with the flight school is they'll not get a call back from the school after they inquired, because the guy that is running the place is also the flight instructor, and he's flying all day and then runs out of time. So we have dedicated people just to take care of customer needs and make sure that they're on the ground and their phone is working and they're ready to meet and give tours and make sure that we're hospitable. So
I think you just answered my very next question is what sets you apart? As far as the hospitality component, walk me through what a brand new customer experiences, either calling your business to inquire about flight school. And let's just talk about flight school right now. What that process looks like for somebody who is brand new.
Sure. So the first thing that we encourage everybody to do is to come in and take a tour and then sit down with their flight training advisor. So it seems like this crazy world that is inaccessible, like aviation. So we want to welcome you in and say, hey, let's just walk through the halls. Let's get you in the flight simulator. Let's show you the hangars. Let's show you the airplanes.
You have a flight simulator?
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So then people go, oh my gosh, this is actually tangible. I can touch it. I can feel it. I can sense it. And then they sit down typically for 30 minutes with the flight training advisor and answer most of the same questions. How much does it cost? How long does it take? Can I borrow money to do it? Or, what are the medical requirements in order to do it? Those are the high level things that
medically. I'm just curious. Are certain people not medically cleared to fly?
Correct. Yeah.
Oh,
so
okay.
Everybody has to go through an FAA medical that the Federal Aviation Administration requires. So it depends on your age. I'm over 40, so I have to go every 2 years. If you're under 40, it's every 5 years. You have to prove that you have good eyesight. You can't be, diabetic without control. You can't have heart problems. You can't have, dependency issues. There's a lot of things that, the FAA doesn't want people flying that are not physically fit or mentally fit.
I guess if
to
I
fly.
really thought about it, I would have considered that aspect.
There's a lot of medications that are not allowed by the FAA. So we have that uncomfortable, hey, are you on X, Y, and Z? Like, you can't be on, antidepressants and stuff like that. And the FAA really wants to make sure that people that are in the air are
healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Well, that makes sense.
Yep. So that's the first thing that happens typically.
Safety. Okay.
And then the second thing that happens is we schedule you on a introductory flight.
Okay.
Because a lot of people don't know if they're going to like it, right? Is this going to be, am I going to get sick? Am I going to be scared? What's the situation going to be like? And it's with one of our flight instructors. You typically go for an hour flight. You're at the controls. You get to do a takeoff and you get to fly around. Maybe land, depends on your capability, but normally the instructor is going to do the landing. And typically everybody walks away from that and they go, I'm in. Let's do this.
Yeah.
It is a rush, a sensation that you really can't get, anywhere but maybe a racetrack, right? Where
sure. Yeah.
You're free
Exotic
to just do
racing,
what you want. Yeah.
Right? Have you been out there?
I have.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very fun.
Good time. You, as a business owner, recognize the value of hospitality. I mean, you've clearly put thought into exceeding your guest expectations, right?
Sure.
That's been a constant theme with you. Yeah. Why do you think truly that it matters to focus on that level of hospitality for your business?
I think people are willing to pay for, quality, is really what it boils down to. So we are more expensive than other schools, but they get the return on that dollar. So we have to constantly be delivering it, or else we're just like any other flight school, and they can go somewhere else that's cheaper. So I think we're always trying to deliver on that value proposition of, you're going to pay more, but you're going to get more. And we're going to work hard to prove that we're worth the extra money.
From a strictly business standpoint, it makes your business more profitable to have higher level hospitality.
Yes, it costs us more, right? It costs the customer more, but at the end of the day, bigger numbers, are bigger numbers. So we would rather have, more people spending a little bit more to get a better experience. And then our employees are happier. Customers are happier. It's really a win-win for all.
There's a new book coming out. It is all about the employee experience.
Sure.
Employee experience from an HR perspective is kind of a newer concept. And I love that you mention that your employees are happier, right?
Yep.
Because when we have happy employees, we end up with happy guests, and then we end up with a healthy, happy business.
Yep.
I imagine you don't have a whole lot of turnover if you have happy employees.
Well, I mean, I wish I could say that, but the aviation world is all about turnover.
Really?
So it's just part of the business. Yeah, because as soon as flight instructors get a certain number of hours, they're eligible to go to an airline, and they're out the door.
Okay.
So we want to make sure that we attract the best instructors that we can get while we have them, knowing that it's not necessarily going to be a long-term, employment, but we get to pick the best of the best because we have a good workplace environment. We have nice airplanes. We pay better than everybody else. So we're the employer of choice for the that time that they're in that stage of their career.
For sure. Have you ever flown commercial?
No. I was gonna. I went to school to do it, and then September 11th happened, and it took me on a totally different path here to do this private stuff, and I've just never gone back. I'm qualified to do it, but I really don't want to be a bus driver when I get to be get to drive around in a high-end airplane. It's kind of fun.
Let's take a second to help out all of our business owners that listen to this show.
Sure.
Because in any industry, we have a foundation of hospitality. There's always a transaction of some kind between the business and the consumer. What kind of advice could you give other business owners, specifically here in Las Vegas, on the topic of rolling out the red carpet? Because that's something you and I have talked about. You love it when your guests really do feel the red carpet has been rolled out for them.
I mean, we literally have red carpets.
Oh my gosh.
All of our plants. So I mean,
I need to come and see this for myself.
This is not it's not just a, I don't know what the word is.
Metaphor. Yeah.
We literally have red carpets at all of our plants for all of our customers. How do I translate that to other businesses? I'd say we could cut that cost, right? You could cut several of these costs, but I think don't look for all these cost-cutting measures. Look for ways to make your customer feel special. And I think that they'll be willing to spend more money with you.
Yeah.
If they feel special, they want to come back. They want to be there. They want to be part of your ecosystem. That's, I think, what any business can do. I like going back to businesses that make me feel special.
Is there any level, like little touch points that you make sure your trainers are doing, like a little thing, like even offering water,
sure.
Right?
Yeah. Oh, we have a fridge full of waters. Yeah. Cold waters, because it gets hot in the summer months flying in Las Vegas. So yeah, we have cold waters for everybody. Little things I think in the flight training world are like, before your flight instructor is going to reach out to you and say, hey, my name is so-and-so, and we're going to fly tomorrow. Is there anything that you want to do in particular? Right? It's not just
communication.
It's not just a transaction. You walk in the door and say, hey, hop in, we're going. It's really trying to understand what the customer wants and deliver on their wants.
That's awesome. Next question.
Sure.
Cost keeps coming up.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
I know some of our listeners are probably hearing this or seeing it, and they're like, oh my gosh, I have been thinking about becoming a pilot. I really want to do it. I should have done it during COVID. I didn't,
sure.
Whatever it is.
Sure.
What, generally speaking, are we looking at here for cost of becoming a pilot through your program?
Sure. So there's several layers of being a pilot.
Okay.
If you just want to take your friends flying and like go with your family and your associates, that's called a private pilot.
Okay.
Right. So you just get your license and you can rent one of our planes. To do that, we have two different types of planes. We have Cessna planes, which are a little bit more cost effective. We tell people it's about 18 to 20 grand.
Okay.
And if you're going to use the Cirrus airplane, which is the main staple of our business, it's a newer, it's air conditioned, it's a little more high end airplane. It's going to be about $30,000 to get your private pilot license. Then there's additional ratings. Most of the time, people, once they become a pilot, they say, hey, it'd be nice to fly in the clouds. I want to go to LA, and there's a marine layer. So if you want to be able to do that, you have to get your instrument rating, and that would be another same order of magnitude, so another 18, 20, or 30 grand. So you're talking about $60,000 in the Cirrus and $40,000 in the Cessna. And then if you decide that this is the career that you want to make, you have to be a commercial pilot. Commercial requires probably another 20 grand in the Cessna, another 30 grand in the Cirrus. And then lastly, I know I keep going, you typically want to become a flight instructor to help accumulate hours and not have to pay for the hours.
Okay.
And that one's less expensive, 10 grand, something like that, 15 grand. So if you're saying, hey, I want to make a career in aviation, we would tell you, all right, you can do it in our Cessna. It's probably 75, 80 grand. You could do it in the Cirrus, 110, 120. But remember that as soon as you go to an airline and you start working for an airline, day one pay is like $100,000.
No way.
Mm-hmm. And then after 5 years, you should be making 200 grand.
What?
So like the return on the investment is like, it's a lot of money to learn how to fly, but it's, you could go to college and spend 100 grand and you're not going to necessarily guaranteed a $100,000 job.
Absolutely.
So $100,000 to become a pilot, and then you got a $100,000 job. That's what I'm here to tell you. You could go somewhere else and do it cheaper, and we talked about that. We don't do the cheapest, oldest airplanes. But that's rough order of magnitude. $100,000 to basically make a career out of being a pilot.
And I heard your planes have air conditioning.
The Cirruses do.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
All right.
Our Cessnas don't, but the Cirruses do.
I mean, is that kind of a luxury thing?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, because it sounded like it when I was researching or hearing it from somebody.
We're the only flight school in town that has air conditioning.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
What about in the country? Is it pretty common?
Anybody that has Cirrus airplanes has air conditioning.
Right.
But most schools are go into the low cost option, and there's not air conditioning in those.
Got it. You have built a beautiful luxury, high-end, high service, high value flight school, but you actually also help people purchase planes.
Yep.
So talk to me about that.
Sure. So that's really been my career. When I worked at Cirrus Aircraft, I was helping deliver brand new airplanes, and then I made a shift to selling used airplanes when the recession came. So I've been doing pre-owned aircraft sales since 2008. And you can rent a plane from us, but a lot of times people say, you know what, I really just want to take my own airplane and go somewhere for 10 days and not worry about, they want the plane back, right?
Yeah.
So that's been what I do is I sell airplanes all over the country. And what really prompted the flight school here in Vegas was that I would sell airplanes to people locally, and then no one was here to really take care of the customer after the sale.
Okay.
Because most of the flight schools did not cater to that customer. So we said, hey, let's start a school that delivers high-end quality training specific to the Cirrus, and we just went out and did it on our own, and it turned into its whole animal of its own. We were just trying to sell more airplanes, and now we've got a thriving business in flight training. So, but my day job is still selling airplanes.
That's kind of cool. So
I'm hoping to close the plane today, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, fingers crossed for you.
In Tulsa, Oklahoma. So
Nice.
yeah, I'll hopefully when we're done with this, I'll look at my phone and it'll be a done deal.
Right on. Yay.
Yeah.
Okay, fingers crossed for that. Being the Vegas Strong Revival podcast, I gotta ask,
Sure.
What does Vegas Strong mean to you?
I think Vegas Strong is where Vegas came together, is really what it means to me. Like, we lived here since 2009, and it was a transient, nobody was really from here. It didn't seem anyways, and it was very much like a come and go kind of town. And then when Vegas, the tragedy happened and Vegas Strong happened and the hockey team started crushing it, we started having a culture and a community of, we are Vegas. We're proud of it. This is home. This is not what happens here stays here. Sort of we stay here, right?
We stay here
all the time. So that's what it means to me is where we I think identified as a awesome city and community, not just a place to visit, but a place to live.
Isn't that interesting how the vibes before October 1 still kind of felt very transient. You know, we always have had community, and there's different sectors of the valley that are very community driven. I would say, you have your pockets of communities, but I have never seen the entire city, the entire valley come together as one big pocket.
Amen.
Prior to October 1.
I agree.
So I love hearing your thoughts on that. As far as the revival component, how do you think that the city is doing in regards to holding on to that citywide community concept?
I think we're trying to be everything to everyone, right? We're trying to be baseball and basketball and hockey, and we're trying to do it all, and we're doing a pretty good job. But I think that maybe we're a little distracted from being back to the city that we all were so close back in 2018. So I'm not a naysayer by any means, but I think we can get back to how we were much more of a close-knit community in 2018, and but I still love this city. So
of course.
I don't want to take it away.
No, we don't ever bash on Vegas, right?
Yeah.
We of course have complaints in certain things, and we're a city, a very complex city, very large city, and with those things comes issues. We have our own set of issues, but we always, the people who live here, everybody loves Vegas. Yeah. We all have this certain level of pride for Vegas. Yeah. So it's not bashing Vegas. It's just simply saying, hey, we're a big city, we're complex, we've got issues, but we still love it. And hey, let's continue to make it better.
Yeah.
So that's definitely where my heart is at.
Yeah.
I would say that the revival component is really going to come from people like you. All the people I talk to on a regular basis to say, hey, remember when?
Yeah.
Remember when we all just loved and supported each other?
Sure.
Do you remember any of the little things that happened after the shooting that like made you say, oh my gosh, this is so awesome that our community is doing, or like this interaction I had with somebody?
Guy,
so, okay, tell me. Yeah.
I'm from Canada, right? So like hockey was huge, and it just seemed like nobody in town knew what hockey was. And then once September 1st happened, or October 1st happened, and then, oh my gosh, everybody's like an expert in hockey, and they don't even know what offsides is. Like, right. It was really kind of funny. For me, that was the big thing, is like to get the city to be behind hockey was so exciting. And now kids play hockey in leagues, and they're going gangbusters. There's now 3 new hockey rinks in town, soon to be a 4th new rink in town. So sorry to go sports on you, but that's really my. But it's true. That was the big takeaway.
The Golden Knights made this city come together in a positive way. Maybe that's not even the right word, but it gave the city a positive focus rather than
it was a distraction from the crap,
the tragedy. Yeah. And that brought a whole level of community in addition to the Vegas Strong messaging that was happening at the time. We had Go Knights Go. So your perspective is spot on. Yeah. Is there anything else you'd like to add while you're here?
No, I think Vegas has the we can do it attitude, right? We can do anything. And I do really love that about this city is we go out and we set our sights on something, and we try to crush it, and we typically do a pretty good job of it. So best city in the world.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
Paul, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
If you have any last words for any of our listeners as far as aviation, your love of the city, anything at all, feel free to speak your piece.
Say like I said, the first step is to set up a tour. So come visit us at the Henderson Executive Airport. We do tours all the time. Sit down in a plane so you can really get a sense of like what we do, and maybe it'll light a fire and get you on an aviation journey you didn't know that you even wanted to start. So
absolutely.
Come check us out.
What's the best way for people to contact you?
Yeah, get a hold of us. Our flight training advisor. You'll find all the information on allinaviation.com. Schedule a tour. That's step one.
allinaviation.com. ALLIN aviation.com. Phone number and website I will list in the show notes as well.
702 All In 22 is our phone number. So there you go.
That's easy.
Yeah.
Fun.
We fly SR22s. The Cirrus is that's the model. So
you got the 22.
Yeah, All In 22. And that's my jersey. Anytime that you see All In 22 on the back of a Golden Knights jersey,
oh my gosh.
Me.
Now I'm
going
to know.
Yeah.
I don't even want to know how much you paid for that phone number. Did you?
It was available. Yeah.
Really?
It actually worked out. Yeah.
You can't even get 702 numbers anymore without paying for them. Did you know that? Speaking of our wild city. Paul, you're amazing. I can't wait to come check out your facility. And until next time.
Go all in.
And that's a wrap on this episode of the VegasStrong Revival Podcast. I hope you found our discussion engaging and even thought-provoking. A big shout out to all of our amazing listeners for tuning in and supporting the show, because it truly means the world to us. So thank you. Let's keep the Vegas Strong spirit alive. Share this podcast with your friends, family, colleagues, and just anyone who loves Vegas. If you have ideas, suggestions, or want to be a guest on the show, simply reach out online or feel free to text us on our super cool podcast hotline, 702-723-2343. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to the show on your favorite podcast platform so you never miss an episode. Let's keep pushing the boundaries and reviving our city's passion for authentic service together. Stay strong, Vegas.